All right, what's happening? So we got the UFC 278 pay-per-view going down this weekend, and let's get into it. So if you guys need a place to bet, obviously BetUS promo code Iceman, only available in the US, Canada, and Europe. Get that promo code, 125% bonus, matching your initial deposit. So main event, Kamaru Usman, Leon Edwards, co-main. We got Paulo Costa, Luke Rockhold. Pretty good card. However, probably won't do many buys because Kamaru Usman doesn't really do many buys, unfortunately. So let's get into it. I'm gonna start with the Amir Albazi fight. In the early prelims a few other fights earlier, but some of these guys just not worth my time, including your boy Harry Hunsucker, 7 wins, 5 losses. Just ridiculous how these guys are still in the UFC. It's just diluting the UFC, putting some of these guys in here. Anyways, Amir Albazi, the Prince, takes on Figueiredo's brother, Davison Figueiredo's brother, Francisco Figueiredo. Same last name, but they have a total different skill set. That's for sure. So Amir Albazi, if you guys don't know, he's got 2 straight wins in the UFC. And his last fight, he beat Zhalgas Zhumagulov. Now they have a common opponent, Malcolm Gordon. Amir Albazi triangled Malcolm Gordon in the first round, and Francisco Figueiredo lost to Malcolm Gordon. I think Amir Albazi should dominate this fight everywhere. I think he's way better than Francisco Figueiredo. Just because your brother's the champ doesn't mean you share the same skill set as him. So Amir Albazi should get it done easy. Next, Sean Woodson takes on Luis Saldana. Sean Woodson, this guy's for real. He looked really good in his UFC career. However, he had that one bad outing to Julian Erosa where he got Darce choked in the third round. Other than that, he's looked really good. Even in the Contender Series, he, flying kneed Terrence McKinney and finished Terrence McKinney with a flying knee. Sean Woodson's for real. He's got a really good skill set. I like Sean Woodson a lot, and I think he should just dominate Luis Saldana. Luis Saldana, 16 wins, 17 losses. However, in his last 7 fights, he does have 6 wins. Not to the biggest names, but he did lose to Austin Lingo, and not his last fight, but the one before that. I just think Sean Woodson should be able to get it done. So I'm taking Sean Woodson on that one. Huge favorite too, by the way, minus 340. Jeez. Up next, Leonardo Santos, the boy who holds the flying armbar or flying triangle win over George St. Pierre in jiu-jitsu or whatever. But this is not jiu-jitsu, this is MMA. And Leonardo Santos is 50 years old now. It's just ridiculous. Now he's 42, but shouldn't be fighting anymore. He's getting way too old. He's taking on Jared Flash Gordon. Jared Gordon, after getting knocked out viciously by Charles Oliveira, came back with 3 solid performances. Won 3 straight. However, his last fight, he got vicious by Grant Dawson. Grant Dawson is for real, though. He's 18 win, 1 loss. So I'm not really judging Jared Gordon for losing that one. It was as expected. He's taking on Leo Santos. I'm going to stay away from this one. I think Jared Gordon should win, but man, um, haven't been really impressed by either of these guys. So, however, Jared Gordon minus 310. So it tells you what odds makers think is going to happen. Next, Tyson Pedro versus Harry Hunsucker. Harry Hunsucker, 7 wins, 5 losses. Don't know why you're in the UFC unless you're just there to pad people's records, which is what they're going to do here with Tyson Pedro. I mean, Tyson Pedro, he's got the look of a fighter, but he can't really back it up. I mean, he's got knocked out viciously by Shogun a few years ago. And before that, he got submitted by Ovince St. Preux. Yeah, his last fight he won, by strikes to Ike Villanova, but Ike Villanova is like, what, 18 wins, 14 losses, 50-50 fighter. And they got Tyson Pedro minus 800. Like, Tyson Pedro is not even that great of a fighter, and they have him at minus 800 to beat Harry Hunsucker. That shows you what they think of Harry Hunsucker. Neither of these guys should even probably be in the UFC. It's quite sad, really, that the UFC is doing this. I think they're having so many cards. They just add fighters that they probably don't even need in the UFC, but they're doing it just because they have to, because they got so many events going on. So, but what it does, it dilutes the UFC. You got so many guys that are just in opposite spectrums in skill. So main event, heavyweights: Alexandr Romanov, Marcin Tybura. Marcin Tybura is not bad. He's coming off a loss by decision to Volkov, but before that, he's racked up a couple wins in a row, and he's taken on King Kong Alexandr Romanov. This is the guy they're going to try to push to that heavyweight title pretty soon here. They wanted to build him up. You could tell because they gave him Jared Vandera and Chase Sherman his last two fights. And they're going to try to build up Alexandr Romanov. This is a guy they think that can do really good in the heavyweight division, as do I. And I think he beats Marcin Tybura everywhere, especially if this fight hits the ground. I think he should easily just dominate Marcin Tybura. I think Romanov should get it to the ground pretty easily. So I'm taking Romanov on that one. Up next, we got the bantamweights. Jose Aldo versus Merab Dvalishvili. When I first seen this fight, I thought it was 5 rounds, and I'm like, oof, Jose Aldo, I don't know if he wants to go 5 rounds with Merab. Merab Dvalishvili's got a wicked gas tank. But it's only 3 rounds, and Jose Aldo is really tough to beat in 3-round matches. He's coming off 3 straight wins, and this is a bad matchup for Merab. Merab, I think, is a better wrestler. However, Jose Aldo has wicked, wicked takedown defense, and I don't think Merab's going to be able to take him down, which is he's going to have to force to strike with Jose Aldo. And if you've seen Jose Aldo's last 3 fights over Chito Vera and Rob Font and Pedro Munoz, he just dominated all of them on the feet. You don't want to be striking with Jose Aldo unless your name's Max Holloway or Peter Yan or something. So I think this goes Jose Aldo all day. I think Merab's going to have a tough time taking Aldo down, keeping him down, especially because he's like a cat. And Jose Aldo should dominate him on the feet. He's the way better striker. So I'm going with the underdog on that one, Jose Aldo. Now, Paulo Costa takes on Luke Rockhold. Luke Rockhold hasn't fought in like 3 or 4 years. And now he's 37 years old, and he's got to come back to Paulo Costa. I don't know why his team took this fight. Not intelligent at all. Putting Luke Rockhold in there with Paulo Costa, I think he's going to get knocked out pretty viciously. Luke Rockhold has one way to win this fight, and that's take Paulo Costa down. He's got a wicked top game. Hopefully he decides to use it. However, Paulo Costa's got pretty good takedown defense, and he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu himself. And if this fight stays standing, Luke Rockhold's chin, I don't think it's going to hold up. He's got his last 2 fights, he got knocked out viciously at at light heavyweight and middleweight. Yoel Romero knocked him out, and Jan Blachowicz knocked him out. Then he hasn't fought 3 years. So you take all that time off. Now you're fighting a killer like Costa. Costa's been looking good lately, looks in incredible shape. Looks like he slimmed down a bit, doesn't have so much muscle, which is good for the cardio. So I'm taking Paulo Costa all day on that one. Next, the main event, Kamaru Usman versus Leon Edwards. This one's going to go probably similar to the first one, except Leon Edwards will have better takedown defense. Usman is going to have a harder time taking him down than the first match, but I think it should be Usman all day, right? Let's break it down. Grappling wise, Usman, way better grappler. Especially the wrestling, it's not even close. Leon Edwards does have better grappling, but it's not the same level of a Kamaru Usman. I've seen Usman in the wrestle guys like Kale Sanderson, like just monster wrestlers. Now, strikers, if this was a point fighting match, yeah, Leon Edwards might be the better kickboxer when it comes to speed and technique, but Usman hits hard, man. Leon Edwards doesn't really knock guys out like that. So, Usman, better boxer for sure, I'd say. He's got better hands, hits harder. Leon Edwards, probably the better kicker, got faster kicks. Those body kicks come fast that he throws. But I think Usman should be able to dominate Leon Edwards everywhere. You know, striking, I'm going to have to lean towards Usman, especially the punching and grappling. I'm leaning towards Usman. Cardio, both guys got tremendous conditioning. Yeah, I just think Leon Edwards, after losing that fight to Kamaru Usman, he's on like a 9 or 10 fight win streak. This has been looking amazing, but you know, you're fighting the number one pound for pound fighter in the world right now. And how can you bet against Usman right now? I don't want to be the one to bet against Usman unless he fights like a Shavkat Rakhmonov or something. That might be a little different, but fighting Leon Edwards, I think Kamaru Usman should get it done. And I haven't made any bets so far. I did have one I was planning to make when I had Paulo Costa at minus 275 on my site, and it was Usman at minus 300. I parlayed both of them for minus 120 odds, but they don't have that available anymore. The odds have shot up as expected. And if you guys are probably going to parlay them, which I know some of you guys like to parlay favorites, probably do it sooner rather than later because these odds will get worse. Trust me on that one. These odds are only going to get worse. And my parlay is probably going to be Usman, Costa, and Albazi. That's a good parlay. I like that one. More than double your money if you parlay Costa, Albazi, and Usman. Also, Jose Aldo, great bet. Jose Aldo by decision, most likely. Also another good bet. So if you guys are feeling my picks, take it. If you're not feeling them, don't take it. These picks are for free. All right, good luck. Out.